Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's practice is all about making transformation a conscious part of your life on and off the mat. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, take a rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice coming into a cross-legged Sukhasana seat, setting ourselves up more or less halfway on the mat. Let's lead right leg in front first. Find a nice tall seat and simply cup your hands around your knees. Take a long inhale in for a slow count of 10 as you raise your chin up towards the sky, keeping your shoulders soft. And on a long exhale for 10, nod your chin to your chest and release that tension spot at the nape of your neck. Bring your chin line back to neutral. Take a long breath in, slowly raising your shoulders up towards your ears. Take a long exhale for 10, relaxing them away from your ears. Come to a neutral shoulder line and start to play with a little kundalini spiral working clockwise. You can make that spiral as small or as big as you need, and you can take the movements into your shoulders as well if you need to. Look for any areas of tightness, begin to move into them, taking a nice long inhale as you lean forward and a nice long exhale as you lean back. Working with your breath. Then come to stillness center line. Take a big breath in and throw your hands back, opening up through your chest, hollowing out the back slightly. On an exhale, round out the back as if you are hugging a tree and begin to play dynamically with a seated cat-cow, alternating between hollowing out and arching the back. Maybe looking up as you arch, maybe looking down as you round out. Then relax the arms alongside the body. Take a big breath in. Make one arm heavy to the floor. Make the ear on the same side heavy to the floor. Stay here. Or add an arc and frame on the opposite arm. Opening up beautifully on one side of the ribs. Come back to the center and do the same on the second side. Lead your way back. Place your hands on the mat, inverting your fingers so that they're looking towards the top end of the mat. Slide your fingertips back, unravel your feet, planting them firmly on the floor, and scooch up into a little tabletop hold, trying to stabilize the weight on your hands and on your feet. Find your way to a tall staff seat, dragging your legs into extension, and take a little spine stretch forward. Lengthening the arms either side of your ears, reaching for that cornice, the line where the wall and the ceiling meet, and looking for it stretch through the entire line, not only of your back, but also of the back chain of your legs. Then place your hands back on the floor. Keep your feet in parallel or bring them closer together as you come into an inverted plank, thinking belly to sky, feet to floor. Ease your way back to your tall staff seat, bracing gently into your feet, and find that spine stretch again. Not looking for a fold, but more of a stretch through the spine. Then relax your hands on the mat, open up your feet a little bit wider. Let's knife edge them to one side as we come into a straddle lift. And then do the same on the second side. Lead your way back into a cross-legged seat, this time leading left in front and right. Cup your hands on your knees. Big breath in as you think chin to sky. Long sighing exhale as you nod chin to chest. Bring your chin line back to neutral. Take a long inhale in for 10 as you slowly shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Take a delicious exhale for 10 as you drop them away from your ears. Come to a neutral shoulder line and begin to trace that Kundalini circle anti-clockwise, looking for a release into the shoulders if you need it, modifying where you need to, moving where you need to. Come to stillness. Throw the arms gently back, arcing slightly through the spine. And then round out through the spine as you think of hugging a tree and begin to play dynamically with your seated cat-cow. Looking up towards the sky as you throw the arms back. Looking down towards the floor as you hug your tree and round out your back. Maybe looking for an ujjayi breath here. Come to stillness with a long spine. Relax one arm to the floor. Start to make that whole arm, shoulder, ear heavy to the floor. Stay here or add an arc and frame on the opposite arm. Back to neutral to do the same on the second side. Find your way back. We're going to find our little inverted 4-point kneel. Sliding your hands back, unraveling the legs. Think belly to sky as you ground through your hands and your feet. Keeping your chin relaxed towards your chest, trying to stabilize the weight on the feet and the hands. Then take a tall staff seat, drag your legs into extension, spine stretch forward. Find your way into an inverted plank, sliding your hands back behind your hip line, thinking feet to floor, belly to sky. Find your way back to your tall staff seat, feet soft but actively braced. Look for that long stretch through the line of the lower back, mid back, upper back. Sit up nice and tall, open up your legs a little bit wider, straddle lift, one to each side, pausing once you've found the lift of your hips and your bottom off the floor. And then doing the same to the second side, just keeping your top hand relaxed to your hip. You could even bring it alongside your ear if you like. Take your seat and then sweep the legs up underneath you, finding your way into a 4-point kneel on the mat and starting to move through some dynamic cat-cows, alternating between hollowing out and rounding out the back. Inhaling as you find that hollow cow frame through the back. Exhaling as you find your rounded cat frame and beginning to play at the breath ratio that works for you. It could be 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 in favor of either the cat or the cow. Come to stillness in a neutral long tabletop stretch through the neck and the spine, somewhere between your cat and your cow. Slide the right hand out as far as it will go, keeping your fingertips connected to the mat. Keep stable through the shoulders and the hips as you replicate this stretch on the opposite leg. Float up into a tabletop line through your extended limbs and then begin to dynamically tap to the mat and back with your two extended limbs. End in your tabletop stretch. Keep stable through the line of the trunk. Try not to pop and rotate through the hips. Stay here or find your way into tiger by bending your floating back leg, reaching opposite hand to foot, squaring up to the shoulders and the hips, and then think cow-like frame through the back, so almost hollowing out the back and actively kicking the foot away from your bottom and into your hand. Then push back into child. Let's keep the legs in a parallel line today as we push back bum to heel. Then lean towards the front end of your mat, keeping strong through the shoulders and the hips, and start to play with that lean or that push back and that lean forward, almost as if somebody was pulling you forward, keeping strong through the trunk and shoulders when you play with that lean into the wrists. Keeping belly to spine throughout. We're going to end in a pushback, and we'll use the pushback to walk our way into a squat line. So taking the feet as wide or as narrow as you need to, and you can play with a side-to-side lean, alternating between lifting your heel on and off the mat, just mobilizing through the groin first. And then maybe once the groin has warmed into it, you can maybe just settle the weight of your body in. Take a few moments here, and if low to the mat is not happening for you, you could play with a midway squat, replicating the same movement and then settling down once you're ready. Stay here or maybe add a crow balance, placing your hands on the mat, transferring the weight into the triceps and maybe looking for a resting spot. Maybe you can lift one or both feet off the mat, or maybe you're looking for more of a gentle rock into the triceps and a relaxed back. So play where you're comfortable. If you have achieved lift off, find your way back to the mat. So find your way back into your deep squat. And then we're going to walk our way from here into a plank line, but we're going to assume a nice wide leg line today. Strong through the arms, strong through the core. Body line parallel to the mat. Then find an up dog by dropping your hips with control through the plank line. More of an acute curve through the back. And then down dog it, but keep those feet nice and wide. And you can bend and extend the legs in unison together just to get that back chain of the legs nice and warm. And then maybe hold it. Settling into your down dog, looking for a pike frame, but with a nice wide leg line today. Ease your way back into a full 4-point kneeling frame and start to play dynamically with your cat-cow Chakrabhakasana. Finding the breath ratio that resonates for you today. Allowing your breath to set the rhythm of your cat-cow. maybe even playing with an active ujjayi breath. Come to stillness in a neutral spinal line, thinking table. Slide the left arm out as far as it will go. Keep stable through the shoulders and the hips as you replicate the stretch on the right leg. In unison, float up into table and then tap back out to the mat, lifting and lowering your extended limbs with control through the trunk, keeping your gaze down on the mat, just to the side of your stabilizing thumb. Ending your tabletop stretch, look for that length through the line of the arm, spine, and leg. Stay here or find your way into tiger, thinking bend through the back leg. Actively kick that foot away from your bottom and into your hand, looking for more of a cow frame through the back. Then push back into child from here, assuming a parallel leg line today. And then play with a little lean forward into the wrists. And start to find a rhythm of pushing back into child, leaning forward into the wrists as you find a kneeling up dog variation. Strong through the trunk when you're leaning forward into the wrists. Don't collapse between the two shoulders, strong arms, strong core. We're going to end in that extended child, Balasana. And we'll use the child to find our way into a deep squat, Balasana, assuming a low or a higher position on the mat as you find the squat or maybe midway plie line that works for you. Playing with your side to side sway, alternating between a lift and a lower through the heels. And then settling in once you're ready. Making those bum bones nice and heavy. Maybe this is where you're happy. Maybe you'd like to try a little transformation into Bakasana. Maybe just rocking the weight of your knees into a spot on the tricep that works for you. Or maybe you can find a landing spot for your knees and achieve lift off with the feet. Find your way back into your deep squat. And then when you're ready, find your way into your plank line with a nice wide leg line. Brace the core, strong through the arms. Transform from your plank into your up dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Keep those wide legs today. Keep that core strong. Then down dog it. Maybe playing with an alternate bend and extend through the legs. Maybe working them in unison today. Then holding the down dog stretch, assuming that wide leg line today. From this wide down dog, we're going to hop or walk our way into a chair, bringing the feet into more of a parallel line, or you could bring them flush along the midline, taking a seat into Utkatasana chair, weight into the bum and the heels, reaching for the wall in front with our fingertips. Then soft drape forward, keeping those knees nice and soft, and starting to play with the little ragdoll sway side to side. Keeping the arms long and dangly, looking for a stretch into the lower back. Coming to stillness along the midline, maybe looking for a fold. It could be hands to floor, or it could be hands higher up along the chain of the leg. Equalizing the weight on the balls and the heels of the feet. Then softening through the knees, leading with the ribs as you ragdoll your way to a nice tall mountain stand with the arms just relaxed at your side. We're going to make our leg line more of a samasthiti, so let's say hip width distance apart. Take a big breath in, and when you're ready, you're going to step back the left leg, coming into a warrior one position, reaching the arms out in front or taking them overhead. Angling in that back foot to 45, staying here or finding your way into a warrior one, using the back toe to transfer the weight from the back leg to the front leg, and coming into a tabletop reach, maybe framing the ears on either side today. Stepping back into a triangle, so think of replicating that warrior one leg line, and then finding a T-frame through the arms and dropping your lead arm to the inseam of the lead leg, or you could do fingers to floor if that's happening for you today as you settle the weight of your stretch into triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. Stay here or find your way into a half moon balance, maybe softening the lead leg, placing hand to floor, right hand to floor, and then finding a step up onto the lead leg, bringing the back leg off the mat. We're going to find a beautiful warrior two line from here. Soften the lead leg, take a bigger step back, thinking open leg at 90 on the back leg this time, as you settle the weight of your body into a T-frame through the arm, palms looking down, gaze steady over the front forefinger. Coming into a small side angle, relax your lead elbow to the lead thigh, bring the back arm nice and close to your ear. Look for that stretch. Open up to the left side of your ribs. Then beginning to gently pivot towards the open side of your body. Relax your hands to the tops of your thighs and set up a plie line. Think goddess foot line. Keeping your hands on the tops of your thighs or interlacing your hands together, making a little basket, tucking your basket behind your head, and then falling the weight of your head gently into your basket, and think of looking up towards the sky. Feel that beautiful opening and stretch into the chest area and the arms and the shoulders. Step your way from here back to the top end of the mat, finding your way into chair and floating the arms out in front. Softly fold forward with a nice bendy knee into a ragdoll sway side to side. Maybe you can come to stillness along the center line, making hands to floor. Or maybe you're more comfortable connecting to the line in your legs. Utkatasana, forward fold. Then keeping your legs in that parallel line, think of peeling up into a nice tall stand, more of a samasthiti than an active mountain. Just look for a nice stack, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles aligned one over the other. Take a step back into a warrior one. either reaching for the wall in front or doing hands overhead. Angling that back foot to 45 so that your hips are looking to the front of your mat. Stay here in Virabhadrasana 1 or morph into a warrior 3, transferring the weight. And you can do a step up on the back leg and then stabilize through your shoulders and your hips and come into a little tabletop fold. We'll use the warrior 3 to come into a triangle, step back into a warrior 1 like stance, but both legs straight this time. Finding a T-frame through the arms and maybe dropping the lead arm to the inseam of the lead leg, or you could do fingers to floor if the floor is accessible to you. Stay here in your open triangle. We'll transform it into a half moon balance. Transform yourself into a warrior 2, taking a big lunge, step back, opening up that back foot to 90, reaching for the wall in front, reaching for the wall behind. Relax your lead elbow to your lead thigh, coming into a modified side angle, maybe bringing the back arm a little closer to your ear. Transform your legs into a goddess line. Maybe just hanging on the tops of your thighs or creating that little basket with your hand, tucking it behind your head, falling the weight of your head into your hands. Take a few deep breaths here, looking to open up through your chest center, working into the arms and the shoulders. Tucking your tailbone underneath the carriage of your trunk, then stepping up towards the top end of the mat, finding your way back into your chair seat, floating the arms out in front. And then an active fold into Utkatasana, hands to floor, or hands to legs and a holding here, looking for a nice inversion through the head, allowing the blood to pool in the head. And if you're prone to headaches, maybe more of a tabletop line would work better for you. Stepping back into a low lunge from here, and we're going to relax the back foot and maybe think crescent frame through the back as we throw the arms up, thinking of looking for that arching line through the spine again, coming into full crescent lunge, Ananya Asana. From here, we're going to think hands to floor, stepping back into a full plank. And if you're feeling strong, we're coming into a side plank on the right, maybe knife edging the feet right, keeping the hips up. Maybe you can open up the top arm, and if the balance is there, maybe you could float the top leg as well, coming into a nice little starfish frame through the body. From here, back to your plank. Relax, knees to the floor. Let's do big toes together, feet wide as you come into an extended child. We're going to try to keep still belly button down. And we're going to move belly button up, walking our arms and the line of our trunk off center to the right as far as the body wants to go. Almost thinking of this as a slow creep into a side crunch. When you creep as far as you can, press actively into both palms, make both elbows heavy to the floor. Look for the left side of your ribs and take a few deep breaths, looking for expansion into the left side of your ribs. Creep your way back to the middle. And then take that off-center walk to the left. Slow walk into a side creep or a side crunch. A creep into a side crunch. That came out wrong. Creep your way back to the middle. And then relax through your elbows, your wrists. Lift all 10 fingers off the mat. And then reconnect pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb. But just assume a totally soft and relaxed finger and hand line. Find your way into a down dog. This time we'll work with a normal parallel line through the legs. Looking to stretch the line of the legs, the line of the spine, the line of the arms. Thinking nice packed bum. Then walk yourself up towards the top end of the mat, finding your way back into your seat, Utkatasana. Weight into your bum and your heels. Before you fold it forward into Uttanasana, hands to floor or hands connected higher up along the chain of your leg, preferably with a nice inversion through the head. Thinking crown to floor, belly to spine. Then step it back into a low lunge, leading with the left leg in front. Maybe looking for a nice little throw up of the arms today. Transform into a nice strong plank line. Stay here or transform into a side plank. Maybe you can open up the top arm, maybe you can even float the top leg. Lead your way from here back into a nice strong plank. Relax into child pose, think big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Keep the bottom half of your body still. Move belly button up as you begin to walk the arms and the trunk off center to the left. Looking for that release through the arms once you've creeped as far as you can. Then bleed your way back to the center. Before you take your off-center creep to the other side. Looking for that drop down through the arms once you've crept as far as you can go. Bleed your way back to the midline. Releasing the hands and then reconnecting the fingers gently to the mat, but keeping a totally soft, relaxed forearm, hand and finger position on the mat once you've reconnected. We're going to ease our way caterpillar style onto the belly. So maybe beginning to press into the palms, allowing the elbows to track wide, sliding, dragging our body to the mat, and then extending the arms on the mat in front. Finding a small chest lift, pretending you've got a marble underneath your nose, begin to articulate up into a chest lift as you roll the marble away. We're going to keep the chest lift small, so 4 or 3 ribs still connected, so it feels like your face is just hovering inches off the floor. Lock that chest lift in. Maybe you can give me a small leg lift, lifting your knees and feet off the floor. And then add a small arm lift so that you're hovering your whole body line just off the mat. Think more of a Superman line. Stay here, or swing the arms back, finding more of a hollow frame through the back, coming into locust, and you can do palm up or you can do palm down. And if you're feeling adventurous and the back is willing, maybe you can even morph into bow pose, the neurosana, looking for a nice crescent frame through the back and actively kicking the feet away from your bottom and into the palms of your hands. Then dissolve back to the mat, maybe stacking your arms one on top of the other, lying down on one temple, releasing gently into the neck, giving yourself a few soft breaths here. And then rolling onto the second temple and pausing there for a few moments. Flipping over from here to arrive on the back, bending both knees, grounding your feet. Beginning to hug the right knee in towards your chest. And keeping the weight of your back pressing equally into the mat as we play with this little stretch sequence. Maybe easing up on the knee hug and hugging behind the thigh as you think thigh to chest. And then maybe looking for an active brace into your right foot as you transform into a happy baby, looking for the undercarriage of your foot, thinking knee to armpit, keeping the weight of your back pressing into the mat as equally as you can so it doesn't feel like you're rolling off to one side. And maybe you can start to look for extension through the leg. If that's not possible, maybe take a strap or a belt, place it around the foot. Maybe coming back into your happy baby for a bit. And then transforming back into more of an A-line stretch to the leg. Trying to keep your chin line soft and relaxed. Fully extend the right leg. Give it a little shake out. Then bend both legs, ground both feet. Start to hug the left knee in, being cognizant of what you're doing with the weight of your back. Then transforming from a knee hug to a thigh hug. Constantly aware of the weight of your back. Starting to transform into a happy baby, looking for the undercarriage of your left foot. Thinking knee relaxing towards your left armpit. Starting to look for more of an A-line stretch. Back to happy baby for a bit. And then looking for more length up the back chain of that left leg as you think more of an A-line stretch. Extend the left leg along the mat, give it a little shake out. Maybe the right leg can follow. Wriggling and releasing through the hips as you extend the legs Toes soft and reaching, and maybe then allowing the arms to splay out, lifting the shoulders, resettling them into the mat. Closing your eyes as you begin to settle the weight of your body into a comfortable corpse pose, Shavasana. Closing your eyes, making your gaze more of an inward focus. Start to look for softening through the entire body. If you need some visual imagery, think of your body as a block of ice. Somebody's pouring a kettle of warm water over it. Start to feel your head melting, your eyebrows melting off your face and towards your ears melting towards your neckline, your nose melting into your lips melting into your chin melting into your neckline dissolving into your collar line, the collar, shoulder line melting towards your fingertips, your chest line melting towards your belly button, and from your belly button towards your pubic line, your whole back line, shoulders through upper back, middle back, lower back, dissolving into your bottom, your thighs, front and back chain, dissolving, your knees becoming liquid, your shins melting into your calves, your ankle line dissolving, your toes, the arches of your feet, the heels of your feet melting. Feel as if you've dissolved into one big puddle of soft release into your mat. Bliss out here for a few moments, maybe creating a pocket of quiet repose, perhaps even some contemplation. Keep your breath soft, keep your body soft, keep your mind relaxed. Stay here in corpse pose, maybe ending to close off your practice here, or maybe easing your way into a fetal pose for a few minutes. You could end in your fetal pose, or you could find your way into a seat of your choice. To end off today's practice, it could be cross-legged, it could be more of a thunderbolt seat. Whether you're on the back, whether you're lying on your side, or whether you've made your way into a seat, maybe try to connect one palm to your chest, feeling that thump, thump, thump of your heart. And if you can, overlay the second hand on top of the first, transferring that thump from the first hand to the second hand, so that it feels like your whole body is vibrating with energy every time you feel that thump, thump, thump. Close your eyes for a moment and internalize our keyword for today's practice, which was centered around the word transformation. Change is inevitable, but transformation is an active choice. Transformation is not a destination. It's a living, breathing, never-ending journey of self-discovery and growth. Are you ready to make that choice? To live with transformation as an active choice. With those thoughts, let's end off our practice. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming out and playing today. Hope you enjoyed today's practice. Till next time, keep it light.